Did you hear? The US government is considering banning TikTok. I don't know if you're a user of TikTok or not, or if your church is actively engaged in pursuing ministry there. But I want to talk about this idea of owning your communication channels because this is a perfect example of why. The United States government is concerned about TikTok, about the way that the Chinese government's using it, about the insights that they're gaining to what we do as Americans. So what does this mean for you in ministry? It means that your TikTok following can go away completely overnight. That's a pretty big hit if that's the only way you're investing in these relationships. I'm going to give you 3 different things that you can do to move toward communication channel ownership. It's very important in the era that we're in today. There are so many opportunities to reach out to people. So your goal here is to move people away from a rented communication channel like TikTok, like Facebook, like whatever platforms you're using, and instead move them toward an owned communication channel. Here are 3 examples of what that looks like. First, an email list. If you're building an email list, like I am, the Creative Bites email at lunchtimeheroes.co, the reason that you should be building an email list is because you own that list. So for example, on my mailing list, I have a list of people that I can communicate with. So let's say that YouTube shuts me down, TikTok shuts me down, all of the platforms shut me down. I can communicate with every single person on that mailing list, and I can still send out my free and helpful communication tools to that group of people. I can send it to them because I have the list. That's the value of building a list. So for your church, if you have people that you're trying to communicate with, you're going to want to get them on a mailing list. You don't want to abuse it. You don't want to email them all the time for irrelevant things. You want to protect it and you want to steward it well, but you want to use that as a way to build ownership of your communication channels. Email is a fantastic way to begin building. Second, consider a self-hosted website. Now, I understand that not every church has the opportunity or the resource to be able to move in this direction, but this should be a target for you over the long haul. When you're using a platform like Squarespace or like Wix, they have privacy policies, they have general use guidelines, and if they decide to make a shift and all of a sudden your church is on the outside of what they deem to be acceptable or appropriate, you no longer have access to all of the things that you've built because you can't use their platform anymore. And that is 100% in their purview. It's within their rights as a business. They have the opportunity to do business or not do business with whomever they choose based on the parameters that they establish. By us moving toward a self-hosted site, we control a lot more of the pieces of the puzzle. Moving to a self-hosted site is a very smart plan over the long haul. WordPress is a great option for this. You're probably going to need help from a development perspective. There are complexities, absolutely, but that's a good target to move toward. Another great middle step here is to move to a company where you trust what they're doing. I'm a big fan of the Church Co. They have reliable service. They have a great foundation in terms of their business. I don't think they're going away anytime soon. Those are the types of things that you're looking for. Is there stability here? And do their values generally align with our values as a church? So consider that as a really smart intermediary step, because now they're probably not going to come out with guidelines that bump you out of being able to use their service. And then the last one that I would argue is actually the most powerful: move people into relationship, in-person relationship. I know that the digital space provides us so many opportunities. It's such an attractive proposition to say, I can reach somebody from anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the world. It's powerful, and it shouldn't be ignored in terms of an opportunity for your church to communicate. However, your goal isn't just to communicate neat ideas to people. Your goal as a church is to bring people into relationship with one another. I don't want to say building a community because that feels devaluing to what the mission of the church is. It's more than that, but it is also that. And so think through that lens of moving people towards something else. Yes, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yes, connect with me on Twitter or TikTok or wherever, but don't let that be the end goal of interaction with your ministry. Invite people to join you, whether that be in an online community by watching your services online, or whether that be in person and having them join you and attend and be physically present. What you're doing is you're then owning that communication channel. In the case of in-person connection, you're going even further. You're beginning a relationship. What happens now when you have a relationship, you can reach out to people because they trust you with their information. They've given you access to them in a way that people who don't have a relationship, they don't have the same level of access. So what you're trying to do as you communicate, establish this wide net of how you're going to communicate to people. Yes, leverage Facebook. Yes, leverage TikTok while you can. Yes, leverage all the different tools that are available to you that fit within the mission of your church. But don't stop at just those platforms. Instead, be very intentional and be very thoughtful about moving them away from rented space that somebody else owns and moving them into communication channels that are yours and that will last as yours.